Willow is actually happening, so that's part of it. Also, Warwick Davis is coming back to play the main character, so that's kind of a double confirmation, even though it was a double rumor to begin with. And we also have the announcement that John M. Cho has been brought in to direct the pilot episode. He is also going to be an executive producer. Okay, nerds. Yeah, it's a day. It's a news day. It's things. You just saw the thing and the stuff, and now we're going to get into the other stuff and the things. I know, I'm being super specific, aren't I? So, before we do all of that, though, guys, we have a double sponsor. Oops, I'm throwing stuff around on my little table here next to me. We have a double sponsor for today's episode. The first one is going to be, of course, the Nerdy I Am mask from Yoda Pool, actually from me over on the Redbubble store, but you know, it's pretty awesome either way. Love these masks. They're actually super cozy, so if you are in need of a mask and you want to show your nerd pride, then go check that out over on the Redbubble store. Link in the description and on the website and everywhere else. And the other sponsor today is, of course... Do you even pop culture, bro? That is, this shirt is over on the Teespring store, so you can go check that out. Again, a link down in the description or wherever you see text following me. So that is all of that, and then we do have a little bit of housekeeping. Next week, I do know now, next week it's about a 70% chance that there will be an episode, so 30% chance I'm not going to do anything for the channel. Well, that's not entirely true, because I'll be doing an adventure and photography video, if nothing else. But about 70% will be doing a Week in Nerdom video, and that video will be the later video. It will not be the Tuesday video, it will be the Friday video, and it actually potentially could go up like Wednesday or Thursday, because I don't know what's going to happen while I'm on vacation, which is why I'm leaving the door open for nothing to happen while I'm on vacation. So, again, if it happens, it will be the later half of the week. And that just is what it is. We'll be back to normal the following week. And yeah, all of that being said, don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, click the like button, do all of the things, because that's what you got to do. And it's free, man. It doesn't cost you anything to show a little bit of love. And showing me a little bit of love actually goes a long way for me. That all being said, let's get into the news. So, music news is how we start things. And music news, it's all follow-ups. Well, not all follow-ups, but like the rest of the episode, it's about 90% follow-ups, 98% follow-ups even. So, we're going to start things off with Cradle of Filth. Remember, they're supposed to be doing a live stream on October 30th, and that is no longer happening because virus reasons. I don't really know exactly. They didn't go into specifics. Had something to do with they were worried about getting sick with all of the corona stuff that is happening over in England. They didn't, travel was going to be difficult and so on and so forth. So they have moved their live stream from October 30th to February 20th in 2021. And the venue is also going to be different now, too. It's no longer going to be St. Mary's Cathedral. It's going to be somewhere else that they have not yet announced. Next, we're talking about Hatebreed. This is just a real quick, because we've been keeping tabs on this new Hatebreed record that will be out on my birthday. Oh, I'm so excited. We do have another single coming from it. It's called Indistinctive, and then in parentheses, Slaughterlust, because I don't know why the parentheses. I've never understood that convention in music, but whatever. So yeah, you can find the link to the video. It is the newest, like I said, newest single off the record. Go check it out. And then we're talking a follow-up on Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Remember, we talked about the fact that this is going to be the first year in 21 years that they have not gone on tour for Christmas. But now they have officially announced that there will be a live stream for their show. The show this year will be... I apologize. I have to consult the notes. Where'd it go? The show this year will be a new staging for their record, Christmas Eve and Other Stories, which I believe actually was the last record that they put out. So that's kind of cool. If you haven't heard it, you should. This is going to be a different version of that same... So it's all going to be basically the same music. It's just going to be a different stage show is what it sounds like. The stream, I was going to say the telecast, the stream is going to be Friday, December 18th. So mark it on the calendars. I'm sure there will be restreams and so on and so forth, but if you want to see it live as they do it, then that's the day to do it. Next, we're doing another follow-up on the Seven Dust record, which we're kind of keeping tabs on. They've just released another video single. The new song is called Dying to Live. I'm a bit of a Seven Dust fan, so go check that out. I haven't done it yet. I've added it to the list. The list for reaction videos is freaking huge at this point. And then our next follow-up is Chris Adler. Remember, he did that song with Michelangelo Baccio. Still don't know how to pronounce that dude's name. That was the last piece of new music we'd heard from Chris Adler. Remember, he used to play drums for Lamb of God, and then he said, I don't want to make cookie-cutter music anymore. Ooh, all right, so he does have a new band. The name of the band is Firstborn. They put out their first single video. The name of the song is Cut the Strings. Again, added it to the list of reactions, so I have not listened to it, but you can find the link to the video down in the description. And then our final follow-up has to do with Fear Factory. This one has nothing to do with the new record. This is actually a reissue of a previous record. The Industrialist is the record they're going to be re-releasing. It's not going to be a physical re-release. It's just going to be re-released onto streaming services. And the notable difference between this and the original is the original had a drum machine. There was not an actual drummer playing the drums on that record. Now they have re-recorded at least the drum parts for all of that music with a proper drummer, so it's pretty interesting. I'm definitely interested to see what that sounds like in comparison. Maybe we'll do a video on it. I don't know. I don't have all that much time to do this kind of stuff, guys. 40 hours a week at the day job plus 40 hours a week doing this and other stuff for Big Show kind of puts a cramp in my stuff. Anyway, that is all we have for follow-ups. Now we're going to be talking real quick about some new pieces. Motionless in White is not a band we talk about here very much, but they are the subject of the next piece, and that is they have released a new video single for their song Creatures X to the Grave. The naming conventions are so weird. But yeah, so you can go check that out. It was noteworthy because I kind of want to see what they're all about. So I figure if I put it in an episode of The Week in Nerdom, then I'll remember to talk about it later when I go do the reaction video. So that's that. And then Miley Cyrus is our last piece. Miley Cyrus is doing a cover album, which isn't necessarily strange for a pop artist to do. Lady Gaga's done it. Amy Winehouse did, kind of. There have been a number of great pop albums where most of the music was was previously recorded music. This is going to be previously recorded music from Metallica. Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? Am I the only one that thinks that's weird? I feel like that's weird. I understand Miley is a very different kind of pop star, and I understand actually she... I don't know. She's a thing unto herself, and I can appreciate the thing that she is unto herself. I'm very intrigued, I guess, is a way to put that. So as this comes out, we will definitely be talking about it, but that's all we got for music, nerds. Let's get into the TV streaming. So this episode is going to be mostly follow-ups. I don't know if I've said that enough yet, or even at all, depending on where you're listening. But this episode's mostly follow-ups. So TV streaming, no exception to that rule. We have our first follow-up is on that Dexter piece that we talked about 2 episodes ago, I believe. Dexter. In order to clarify the announcement, the showrunner, Clyde Phillips, told The Hollywood Reporter that this will be effectively a 9th season. I don't think that was really confusing, but in case it was to you, you should know this will be a 9th season. This is not undoing anything that existed in the previous 8 seasons. This is just adding on to the end. It is not undoing the end of the 8th season. So you have to know that, apparently. So now you know. Our next follow-up piece has to do with the Mighty Monarch. Or the Venture Brothers, whatever. Venture Brothers, we remember they got unceremoniously canceled, and Hammer and Jackson Publick didn't really like that so much. So much so that they have been in discussion with Adult Swim so that in case that the show does not get picked up elsewhere, does not get put onto HBO Max or wherever it might be going, they can have some sort of finality to their story. So their discussions with Adult Swim have gone along the lines of doing a cancellation special. So something to tie up all of the loose ends and hopefully potentially leave it open a little bit for future episodes should they actually get picked up somewhere else. So yeah, super. I hope this is not finalizing on the Venture Brothers, but if it is, hopefully it will be cathartic enough to be okay with that. Our next follow-up has to do with the Day of the Dead. This is just a real quick one. We do have a director for the first 4 episodes. It is Steven Kostanski. The only really other thing that he's done has been a Leprechaun movie, and those are always really interesting. So, and then our final piece has to do with The Walking Dead. We do have an update from Scott Gimple, who is the chief content advisor, which is a thing, I guess. He's the guy that's in charge of all of the live action stuff for Walking Dead. He is talking about how he and the other creatives are considering something animated this way comes. Some sort of animation, be it a new series or just an episode of the Tales of the Walking Dead, something along those lines. But he is talking a lot about how it's interesting to think of an hour-long episode of a show, of a dramatic show that is not child-oriented, being animated. So I also am intrigued by this thought. So if anything comes from this, we will be following up. But next, we're talking about brand new news pieces, and there's only one. There's only one, and it's the Addams Family, which is plenty. So, the Addams Family, there's 2 really huge pieces about this. First of all, they're considering, or they have the green light has not been officially given, but there is an Addams Family live action TV series in the works. So that's number one. The other piece is Tim Burton. That's right. The man, Tim Burton, is the guy that is going to be the mind behind this. He's not going to be the showrunner. He's just going to be an executive producer. Showrunners are going to be Alfred Goh and Miles Millar, who also worked on Smallville. Who were writers on Smallville. They're going to be the lead writers and showrunners. And also, to tie all of this up with kind of the story apparently is going to be told from the point of view of Wednesday Addams, and it's going to be placed in modern time. So the modern time is not really but from the point of view of Wednesday, that has never been a thing for the Addams Family in any of its iterations. In the original comics, in the black and white series, in any of the movies, it's always been like a narrated, at the worst, narrated kind of thing from somebody unattached to it. But at best, it's been just, let's watch this family that is kind of kooky and odd and amazing be kooky, odd, and amazing around a bunch of boring folks. So I don't, all of this is really awesome, except for that POV part. Like the point of view of Wednesday, hopefully it's amazing. Hopefully it's fantastic, and I will have nothing to complain about. But that part puts a little seed of doubt in my brain. So here comes some movie news. This is actually all follow-ups. There is no new news. So if you don't care for the follow-ups, skip forward about a minute and a half. All right, so first up, we have Ghostbusters Afterlife. We have a new release date for the movie. It is now going to be released June 11th of 2021. This was kind of foreseen, so you should not be surprised. And next, in follow-ups for movies, we are talking about Wicked. Wicked, if you don't know, is the musical based on, it's a kind of a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, kind of. It is a prequel to The Wizard of Oz because the main character from Wicked dies in The Wizard of Oz. So Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West, is the primary person. I don't know if you would say protagonist at all, but whatever. So we talked briefly about the fact that it was getting a movie treatment, and now it seems the movie treatment is running into some issues. They just lost their director, and it also sounds like they're going through some issues with filming because their filming schedule is running into some really hard hangups in England because the places that they're supposed to be filming are getting shut down, and so they have to reschedule and and reschedule, and apparently that is why they lost their director. So they are now looking for a new director, and they're also looking to set up a new filming schedule, it seems. So our last piece in movies has to do with the Fast and the Furious. Supposedly, it has been announced, and I will believe this when I see it, because when you announce something this far in advance, it's likely to change. So, but apparently the announcement has been made that the series, not the season, it's a movie. The series will be coming to its completion with the 11th installment. So, if you're keeping tabs at home, there is still yet to be a 10th movie, so there will be a 10th movie, and then presumably there will also be an 11th movie, and then that's it. For the main movies, I can imagine things like Hobbs and Shaw and so on and so forth. That kind of stuff will happen as long as people are willing to pay money to see it, but the mainline movies will end, according to this announcement, with the 11th movie. So that is everything we have for movies, guys. Now let's talk gaming and tech. We only have two pieces, gaming and tech. One piece is a follow-up. The other is brand new news, kind of. Technically, they're both follow-ups, but we'll get to that when we get to that. So our first actual full-on follow-up piece is Quibi. Quibi has been it's folding. It's big surprise. Nobody freaking subscribed to it. They got what was it, like a couple $1 billion? I think it was like $2 billion they raised to get this going, and nobody subscribed in spite of all of the celebrities they had backing it or starring on it. Nobody freaking subscribed. So 6 months after launch, they're now calling it quits, and they're looking to sell off all of the assets, all of the assets being the intellectual properties as well as the actual tech that they use to make their series, because they had one unique thing onto their streaming platform, and that is the orientation of the phone. So Quibi, if you didn't have it, because none of us did, Quibi had the ability when you were watching a show on Quibi, if you turned your phone to portrait mode, then the actual show you were watching would be in portrait mode. It didn't crop anything in. You got to see different parts of the screen, or of the image, I guess. And if you turned it to landscape mode, then again, you got a different look. Nothing got cropped, nothing got shaved, nothing got changed. I guess changed is not necessarily the accurate word, but yeah. So Quibi's going the way of the buffalo. It is what it is. Moving on. Our actual next piece, which is, again, kind of a follow-up, but kind of not. It has to do with PlayStation 5 backward compatibility. So we have been keeping tabs on this, but PlayStation has been really tight-lipped as far as what to expect from the backward compatibility, except for the fact that they have announced that it will only extend to PlayStation 4. How it extended and how far it extended kind of still remained to be seen up until now. We do now know that PlayStation 4 backward compatibility with the PlayStation 5 is almost 100%. There are exactly 10 games that are not on the backward compatibility list, which is pretty freaking awesome. Honestly, that's amazing. Considering the differences in their architecture from one system to the next, it's always been very difficult for them to do this. So we do have, I'll go over the list real quick of the 10 games. So the 10 games are Afro Samurai 2 Revenge of Kuma Volume 1, which is probably the game that is going to be the biggest pain in the side for anyone who owns any of these 10 games, because honestly, Afro Samurai is amazing. Anyway, so Afro Samurai 2, DWVR, Hitman Go Definitive Edition, Joe's Diner, Just Deal With It, Robinson The Journey, Shadow Complex Remastered, Shadwen, TT Isle of Man, Ride on the Edge 2, and We Swing. So yeah, I would be willing to bet most of you don't have any of those games except for, as previously mentioned, the Afro Samurai game, and maybe even the Hitman game, but the rest of those games seem pretty obscure, so I wouldn't worry too much about the backward compatibility. So for all intents and purposes, PlayStation 5 back compat with PlayStation 4 is basically 100%, which is pretty great. Now let's talk comic books and books. We have a bunch of follow-ups here. Here we go. Nightwing. We do have a follow-up on the Nightwing series. If you haven't been reading it, but you do know that Nightwing Dick Grayson lost his memory and became Rick Grayson, because that makes a whole lot of sense. But comic books. Rick Grayson is no more. We covered that when that happened. But now it seems that the vigilante team that sprung up in his absence, and then he joined as Rick, which is also because comic books. The vigilante team known as the Nightwings has been disbanded officially by Dick Grayson in issue number. I didn't write the issue number. In the most recent issue. I can't remember what number it is. I apologize. 42 maybe? Whatever. So next follow-up has to do with the John Ridley piece that we talked about when we got the first DC Fandom experience. John Ridley is the Oscar-winning screenwriter that brought us 10 Years a Slave and a number of other things. His books, the story that he's been working on that they have not officially made announcements about up until very recently is as follows. It is going to be called The Other History of the DC Universe. And those books are going to be kind of reimagining important events in civil rights and all that stuff throughout the actual history of the world is going to be put through the lens of DC comic books. So there's going to be superheroes involved and so on and so forth. So I'm really interested to see what's going on. What you're looking at right here on the screen is actually the second issue. The first issue, I believe, is actually coming very soon. This month, or maybe it was next month. I can't remember. But yeah, pretty interesting. I'm interested to see what someone like John Ridley can bring to the comic book medium. And then we're moving next to Star Wars High Republic. We've been keeping tabs on this quite a bit. We do have the solicitation for the first issue of the new book, and it breaks down what this specific book. There are a number of High Republic books, but the main High Republic book is going to be following a Jedi Padawan by the name of Kiev. I'm assuming I'm saying this correctly. Kiev Trennis, who in the first issue is going to be faced with a pretty big dilemma, and she's either going to have to finish her training as a Padawan and become a Jedi, or save the victims of the Great Disaster. I can't remember what the Great Disaster is, and I did not have time to look it up before we went to film, but either way, super excited. The writer on this book is Kavan Scott. Ario Anindito is going to be the artist, and the book will be out on shelves in January of 2021. And then our last follow-up has to do with Batgirl, and this one's actually interesting because it's a cross follow-up. It's a crossover follow-up, I guess. Batgirl issue number 50 is going to introduce the character of Ryan Wilder into the DC comic books universe from, if you don't know, you haven't been keeping tabs, from the CW Arrowverse version of Batwoman. Ryan Wilder is the new Batwoman in the CW, but it does not look like she's going to take over that mantle, at least not yet in the comic books. It's just going to be an introduction of the person of Ryan Wilder, so maybe presumably we can see a little bit more of what this character is supposed to be before Batwoman starts happening. So those are the follow-ups. Now let's talk about the news. We have Enter the Phoenix is the current story arc going on for Avengers, and the new solicitation for the next book is out, and it seems like they're going to be killing somebody off if you want to believe the hype. Cover for the book has Black Panther on the cover, wearing a Phoenix emblem on his chest and a Phoenix crown, so very interesting. Phoenix is having a contest to see who is the most worthy across the universe, and so somebody's going to die. It says not everyone. The specific quote is that, where is it? Not all will survive. So I don't know exactly what that means, but we're going to be reading Avengers to keep up and see what happens. Our next piece is actually our final piece in Comic Books and Books, and this is age-old question: who is stronger, the Juggernaut or the Hulk? Now, nothing can stop the Blob. Oh, wait, no, that's somebody else. So this has actually been an ongoing thing since I was a kid, even probably longer than that, because these characters are much older than me. But Juggernaut and the Incredible Hulk, or I guess Juggernaut and the Hulk, because I believe it was the Immortal Hulk in this. But Incredible Hulk, Immortal Hulk, you could argue that they're basically the same power. So the same power level even. But in the most recent book, remember Juggernaut has his own book right now, but in the most recent issue for the Juggernaut book, Juggernaut openly admits that the Hulk is too strong for him. They get into a battle. The Juggernaut actually does end up winning the battle, but it's because he had help from D-Link. Right? Did I say that? Is that? No, not D-Link. D-Cell. Sorry. Something else. D-Cell helped him out by stopping the Hulk. Again, Immortal Hulk. Stopping the Hulk, but it took all of her power to stop the Hulk and then all of the Juggernaut's power to bring him down. So that's some wicked power. So that kind of puts a little bit more perspective on the Old Man Logan story when he takes out the Hulk himself. So yeah, pretty intense. I'm glad we finally have an answer to that question. That is all we have for comic books and books, though. Rumors. That is right. That is the place we are going right now. So we added the new subsection to rumors, which is confirmations and refutations. So rumors that have been confirmed in the last couple of days are as follows. We actually have 3 of them. 3 confirmations. No refutations. I'm pretty excited about that. So rumor confirmation, we have Willow is actually happening. So that's part of it. Also, Warwick Davis is coming back to play the main character, so that's kind of a double confirmation, even though it was a double rumor to begin with. And we also have the announcement that John M. Cho has been brought in to direct the pilot episode. He is also going to be an executive producer. The list of executive producers is lengthy-ish. We have Ron Howard, of course, Kathleen Kennedy, also, of course, and Jonathan Kasdan, also, of course. Are going to be executive producers, along with Wendy Miracle. I don't know if I said that right. And then Bob Dolman, who was the original screenwriter for the first movie, I guess. So that's pretty freaking awesome. Next confirmation, and I know you've been waiting for this whole episode because it's all over everywhere. And actually, there's been some new stuff, the new development about this, but we'll get into that. So, confirmation is Jared Leto is returning as the Joker. It is not 100% confirmation because it's not going to be in the Matt Reeves series of movies like was rumored a couple of weeks ago now, I believe. So it's not going to be the Matt Reeves movies, though I did say that was the least likely of that rumor. Also, as of this morning, because I found this 2 days ago, I believe, and then as of this morning, there was a good point brought up in that the source of this, and I don't usually give sources for rumors because they're a rumor, so where's the fun in that? Where's the point in that, really? So the source for this was originally Deadline. Source of this confirmation was Deadline, but Deadline does still have it listed as rumor. So it has not been confirmed by the studio, so this is not 100% confirmation for that reason either. There is still a possibility it's not going to happen. Even though everybody's reporting on it that it will be 100%, there is still a possibility it will fall through and we won't get to see Jared Leto as the Joker again, which is not really a horrible thing, but whatever. So next we're talking about Battlestar Galactica. That is the next rumor confirmation. We did talk about the rumor that Battlestar Galactica was going to be getting a new movie, and now we have official announcement that Battlestar Galactica is getting a brand new movie with Simon Kinberg writing the thing. It's writing and producing. So there you go. Confirmations all around, baby. All right, so new rumors. Superman is once again in the rumor mill. And also, this rumor is another one that flies in the face of other rumors that we've been talking about ongoing throughout the last couple of weeks. This rumor is that J.J. Abrams, who we know is in charge of a couple of new DC property or a couple of new DC movies concerning older properties, it's a lot of words. The going school of thought was that JJ was going to recast because his universe, the J.J. Abrams universe in the DC extended universe, was going to be linked to Matt Reeves' universe, and you can't have Superman be that significantly older than Batman. So in order to make that make sense, they're going to have to cast a new Superman. But that doesn't mean Henry Cavill can't be Superman. He's just Superman in the Snyderverse. So there's that. But there has been a rumor that JJ has met with Henry Cavill in specific detail to talk about Cavill's potential playing of Superman in JJ's movies. And then the rumor goes on to say it all kind of depends on how well the Snyder Cut does. So This could mean one of two things. If this is true, and we'll get into the likelihood of that, but if this is true, then JJ's movies aren't going to be part of Matt Reeves' universe, or JJ's going to be making movies in both universe, the proper DCEU universe, as well as Matt Reeves' universe. So, because that is the thing, that kind of brings things down a little bit. Now, did a conversation happen between JJ and Henry Cavill? Probably. The likelihood that JJ will bring Henry Cavill into his universe very specifically depends on where does JJ's universe exist. So there's two percentages I'm going to give here. Once we figure out where JJ's universe exists, then we'll know which one is the likelihood. So if JJ is doing stuff in the proper universe and not in the Matt Reeves universe, then 100%. That's a little bit exaggerated. I'm going to say 80%. 80% likelihood that is going to be the case. If JJ's movies only happen in Matt Reeves' universe, then 0%. I am 100% positive that this will not happen. So 0% likelihood if JJ's movies happen in Matt Reeves' universe that this is going to be the man to play Superman for those movies. All right, so that's what we got there. Next, we are talking about Green Lantern. We actually have two different Green Lantern movies. First, we have another source that is putting Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern in the CG spandex for the Snyder Cut. We'll get into that likelihood in a second. And then we also have another Green Lantern rumor that has to do with the Green Lantern series that we know is coming to HBO Max. This rumor is saying that someone from HBO is going to be playing Alan Scott. That someone, it sounds like some sources are saying it's going to be Coaster Waldau. So Jamie Lannister will be playing Alan Scott, or we could be seeing Alexander Skarsgård playing Alan Scott, which seems less likely, or we could also be seeing, where's the kid's name? Jordan Patrick, who was in Lovecraft Country, be playing Alan Scott. So let's get into these percentages. So the Ryan Reynolds return to the Snyder Cut. We've addressed this. It's not super likely, going at about 30% there. But because we keep getting these rumors from different sources, it's starting to sound a little more valid. And then we have the casting of an HBO existing actor, somebody in the HBO cadre of actors. That seems pretty likely. I feel like that's just the way most production companies handle it. So we're going to say that's right about 60 to 75%, somewhere in that neighborhood. But which actor? Nikolai Coaster, I'm so bad with his name, and I don't know why. Nikolai Coaster Waldau seems the most likely to me because of other information attached to this rumor, saying that it was from a very popular show that ended recently. And what show ended recently? But Game of Thrones, because technically Lovecraft Country did not end, just the series ended. And Alexander Skarsgård, his show ended on HBO a long time ago. He is on what was it? I can't remember. He's on something new as well, but it also not ended. So there's that. And I don't even think technically a series. It's a couple of movies. So yeah, the likelihood that it is Alexander Skarsgård, very small, probably 10% there. He also seems a little old. Nikolai seems a little old as well. So honestly, my vote goes to Jordan Patrick, even though he's less likely because, again, his series did not end. Yeah. Words. There we go. We're moving on. So next we're talking about the Joker. There is a new rumor because we got the kind of sort of confirmation that Joker is going to be in the Snyder Cut, but there is a new rumor saying that Batman, the rumored series for Batman on HBO Max is going to also feature Jared Leto as the Joker. This rumor relies on another rumor, so we can't give it a whole lot of validity. So I'm going to say about 40%, though. If we do get confirmation that the Ben Affleck Batman series is going to happen, that definitely shoots this up a lot in the likelihood. So a lot depends on the Snyder Cut. So we're saying right now, as it stands right now, because it's relying on another rumor, we're sitting pretty low on that likelihood, 40%, like I said. All right, so next is World's Finest. There is another rumor that Warner Brothers wants to do a team-up movie for Batman and Superman. I think, this is pretty equally as likely as not likely, 50-50. There is very little details attached to this rumor, so we're going to move on. Next is Star Trek Picard. There is a new rumor that not only are we going to be getting a third season for Picard, but season 2 and season 3 are going to be filming back to back. So not simultaneously, they're not going to film at the same time, but once filming for season 2 is done, presumably they're going to be taking like a week off or so and then coming back immediately to film season 3. Why? I don't know. But the rumor does say specifically that they're basically going to be in production for the entirety of the year of 2021. So likelihood that this is a thing, likelihood that there's going to be a season 3 is pretty high. I feel like it's relatively popular enough. It's the most popular thing on CBS All Access. So season 3 seems likely. We're going to say probably about 75% for a season 3. The likelihood that they're filming them back to back should season 3 actually be happening. Yeah, sure. Why not? 90%. I don't see why there's any reason not to do this, even though it kind of seems like a lot of work that people in Hollywood aren't used to doing. So moving on to our next one is Bo-Katan Kryze. Katie Sackhoff is being rumored to be coming back for a full series. Now, depending on which source you're talking about, this series could be either a solo Bo-Katan Kryze series, or it could be going on with the Cara Dune series. She could be part of the Cara Dune series. So this seems super likely to me as well. As far as a solo series, I'm going to put that at about 60% likelihood. As far as being part of the Cara Dune series, that's also reliant on another rumor, because we don't have confirmation Cara Dune is getting her very own series. So we have to drop that one down about 40% like the Joker one. So again, same situation with the Joker one. Once we do get confirmation that Cara Dune is going to happen, I feel like that greatly increases the likelihood for Bo-Katan Kryze being part of it, not necessarily getting her own series. And then our final piece of rumor, I guess, is Icon, the Milestone Superman, effectively, the black Superman from Milestone Comics, is rumored to be getting his own movie once the Static Shock movie is done with production. And there is also a rumor attached to it that says Michael B. Jordan will not only be producing, but he will be starring as Icon. All right, so the second rumor is dependent on the first rumor. The first rumor seems super freaking likely, seems like a great idea, no less. So because of all that, because there's nothing that kind of contradicts that in any way, I'm putting that at about 70% likelihood that Icon is going to be the next superhero that we get from Milestone Comics. It makes a whole lot of sense because Static Shock is the most recognizable hero from the Milestone Comics as far as broad mass appeal, but Icon has the most potential because, again, he is their version of Superman, and Superman is the most acknowledged superhero across the world. So yeah, there's a whole lot of good reasons to do that. As far as Michael B. Jordan doing it, that only makes sense too. So, but it does rely on another rumor. So if we get confirmation of the first rumor, then the second rumor becomes much more likely. So we have to put that second rumor. I'm going to bump this one up a little bit as opposed to the previous two, in that they're both 40%. This one's 50-50. This is equally as possible as not possible. So that is the rumor mill, guys. Whew. It's also the end of the episode. So what did I miss? What should we talk about in the next one? Let me know in the comments down below. If though you want to go deeper in the conversation, jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net. Patreon.com/generallynerdy is a place to support, or, you can go find all of the other social media links and join me in the conversation in any way you choose. All of those are down in the description for this, or they are over on the website. So go check it out. Thank you very much for joining me, nerds. If you're falling behind on your nerd news and you want to catch up, you can click or tap one of the two boxes that is appearing below my face right about now. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. But before I go, always remember that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.